What's up, fight fans? This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News, and I have some new news concerning Deontay the Bronze Bomber Wilder. This is in regards to Leonard Ldbc once again. A lot of people, not just Leonard Ldbc, but he started this thing. He planted this seed. So you know what? I have to counterpunch this once again because it's more people that's coming to aid of Deontay Wilder that thinks Deontay Wilder, it was a good idea for him to overlook the $100 million, pass it up in order to do what he's doing right now. Okay. Why would you think, and this goes from Boxing Ego and all these other channels that side with the idea of Deontay Wilder passing up an opportunity of a lifetime like he did, okay? Why would you pass up $100 million or $120 million? Okay, he had two options. He could either fought for $120 million because that added his mandatory on the zone, or he could have chose $100 million and skipped the mandatory because we know unification trumps all. Right? He could have done either one. He could have took the cool $100 million, $50 million per fight. He could have done that. Okay, why would you, after all this shit talk, after all this ridicule, why would you pass up a fight for $100 million to fight a guy that you say was scared, to fight a guy that you said was running, to fight a guy that you said was ducking, to fight a guy that you said was a coward, to fight a guy that you said was mentally weak? Why would you pass up a fight with a guy like that for that amount of money? It makes no sense whatsoever. It's either two things. Either you wasn't sure that you were going to beat him in those two fights, that's why you didn't want to take the money, and you didn't care how much money it was. Or you were that dumbfounded to believe Al Heyman and your management like you always been. Or, we got to add this, both. He wasn't really sure about it anyway. That's why he was like, you know what, you guys are right. I don't think that this is right, that these guys are just offering me this amount of money. What's the catch? It's too good to be true. I don't believe it. What's Anthony Joshua getting? We got to find that out. No, you're just trying to make another wall, another excuse. So therefore, you can have another reason not to fight Anthony Joshua. You know, that's what I'm talking about. These guys are like, oh, he's making his own way. He didn't take the DAZN deal. He's making his own route, and he's more popular than Anthony Joshua now. But how? How is he popular than Anthony Joshua? I know he wants to be. That's Deontay's problem. Instead of worrying about his own success and what he can do with his own ability, he's worried about trying to be more famous than a fucking other fighter. It's so stupid. Do you know what I'm saying? It's like this. It's like Sugar Shane Mosley saying, I want to be more popular than Oscar De La Hoya. No, it's not about being more popular than Oscar De La Hoya. It's about being more popular or being the better fighter. The better fighter doesn't mean that you're more popular. It doesn't mean that. Think about it. Will Buster Douglas ever be more popular than Mike Tyson? No, but if Buster Douglas had a type of mindset that, hey, one day I want to be better than Mike Tyson because I'm the WBC champ and Mike Tyson has all those other belts, but I'm better than him. And I have my little minions and shit trying to side with me, but you know, with pom-poms and shit cheerleading for me, trying to make me, you know, politically bigger than another guy by perception of these guys that cheerlead for me. It's retarded. Fight the fucking guy already. You know what I mean? That's my whole thing. People think I'm hating on Wilder. No, I see right through Wilder. I see what Wilder does. I see Wilder hates when other people shine. Wilder has a little taste of that Floyd Mayweather shit. He does. He hates the idea of Joshua doing this and Joshua doing that. He even went on a rant before he went off on Radio Raheem. If you can remember that interview, he said, you know what, guys say he got so much money. Who gives a fuck? I don't care. I want to stay low to the ground. I want to stay down low. You guys remember that? But now all of a sudden, he wants to be, I want to be the biggest heavyweight star ever. And it went from that to, who gives a fuck about the money and all this? It went from that to, we got to make more money the most money is possible. You know what they say, Jim? The best things come to those who wait. You guys remember that? So how do you go from you went from this time last year, damn near, to the middle of this year. Your whole mindset has changed. Why? Because you scored a draw? Yeah, you fought your mandatory, you passed up the DAZN deal, and you said you want the most money possible. How the fuck are you going to get more than $100 million? That's my whole thing. And they gave Joshua, I did too, a lot of shit about the $50 million. They did. Because Anthony Joshua said, I want $50 million, I'll fight him tomorrow. So in that case, from what he said, meaning, hey, well, $50 million would be the money that it would take for me to do whatever I needed to do to get me in the ring with him. That's my understanding of what he said, right? But there was a lot more to it. There was a lot of lies. There was a lot of bullshit. There was a lot of, he said this, but no, I didn't. I didn't never say that. But then this other person saying, yes, you did. You know what I'm saying? You had Ldbc, you had Frank Warren, you had Shelly Finkel, you had Steven Espinosa, and all these motherfuckers, and 2 out of 4 of those guys were saying different shit about that $50 million. And I'm like, okay, well, damn, who has the money? Who's responsible for the money? Was the money ever existent? Inexistent, right? So that was that with the $50 million. $50 million was then doubled to give to Deontay, because my thing was, well, why are they going to give our American champ? Why are they going to give a British champ, which is Anthony Joshua, $50 million? Well, what is Deontay Wilder getting? That was my whole thing about the situation when I started to really break it down. Like, what is Deontay going to get? That's not fair to Deontay Wilder. Why is he going to get that? You know, you mean my promotional company is going to give more money to another fighter or another champion than me? Okay, fair enough. When I heard about the $100 million deal or the $120 million deal, I was like, damn, this is where it's at. The stakes have been drawn. Eddie Hearn didn't want to give that much money up, so John Skipper did. It was all about the money. You coming from a guy that was going to accept the fight for $15 million, but he can't accept it for $85 million more, $100 million total, or $120 million. He could have been fighting on DAZN. So I think that was all about pride. I think it was all about fear and hesitance because, you know, I don't think that he could win. He doesn't think that he could win. Not me. He. You know, because something had to happen where they were like, oh, well, we need to know how much is he getting, because if that's the case, we need to cut that down. They're still worried about a fucking split because his people were worried about being greedy. His people were worried about, well, that's only $100 million. So if we shred that off and take or whatever, because it was too many of those bastards. Think about it. You had Ldbc, you had Al Heyman, you had Shelly Finkel, you had JD's. You know, you had these guys that still had to take a cut out of that $100 million or that 50-50, 50 million, 50 million, or that 20 million, 50 million, 50 million. And I think what they were trying to do, instead, they're trying to see how much Joshua was getting because they didn't want to shred off the amount of money that Deontay Wilder was getting for the whole for the fight, these fights overall, because they had to have a portion or a percentage of that. So instead of them taking it from Deontay, they tried to make Skipper pay more, or try to make Skipper explain or reveal how much money that Anthony Joshua was getting for his end or his side of the bargain. You see what I'm saying? Before they joined it was all about greed, I believe. Greed or hesitance, you know, and of course reputation and dominance of networks. See, if DAZN, think about it. If Deontay Wilder fought Dominic Breazeale on DAZN, you know, I've said this before in the other video, that would be one of those situations where Al Heyman and all those guys, Leonard Ldbc, they would all lose. They would lose credibility. Yeah, they would get kickbacks from whatever percentage they get from Deontay, but they couldn't get what they normally got. That particular fight was a wash. They didn't care if it was, because they wanted Deontay Wilder on Showtime. And then they couldn't even tell you how much they gave him. He was, you know what I mean? That's just stupid. That's a dead giveaway. You can't tell us how much that Showtime got you back for. So we know you're getting had. So let's stop all this. Oh, well, I'm proud that he's making his own way and doing this and doing that. No, because there's nobody that will be produced in the sport of boxing that'll make Deontay Wilder bigger than Anthony Joshua. I'm sorry. It doesn't work that way. Who would you remember, Vernon Forrest or Sugar Shane Mosley? Vernon Forrest beat Sugar Shane Mosley. Okay? God bless the dead for Vernon Forrest, but there's fighters that will never be as popular as the guys, those guys that beat those popular guys will always be more popular. It just is what it is. They have a bigger fan base. They took an L. It doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? It really doesn't matter. So, who is more popular, Evander Holyfield or Mike Tyson? Who is more popular, Lennox Lewis or Mike Tyson? It doesn't matter. Mike Tyson will always be more popular than Lennox Lewis, bar none. Maybe that makes Lennox Lewis bitter in the ass. I don't know. It doesn't matter. But he's not the most popular. Yes, he beat Mike Tyson, but what does it mean? Yeah, he was a better fighter on that night. Is he more popular? Hell no. Okay? Same shit for this. There will be nothing. The only thing that Deontay Wilder could do is keep knocking people out. Keep knocking people out. Keep fighting all these guys, and really, for the sake of boxing, I think, and for his sake of his resume, I feel that he should knock or fight all these guys and beat all these guys. All the guys that, like he said, bring your favorite fighter and let me fight them. That's what he should do. But again, if he thinks that, hey, I'm going to be one day more popular than Anthony Joshua, doing based on what he's doing right now, he's delusional. He could have fought White a long time ago. He could have fought Klitschko a long time ago. Okay? Not Fury. He could have fought Klitschko. Because Klitschko didn't fall off. Klitschko was a reigning and defending champ. Yeah, he got upset by Tyson Fury, but Tyson Fury wasn't even around to get revenge upon. Okay? That's that. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think about this particular video. Of course, please subscribe. And you guys been Counterpunch. Peace.